Memories. Start at www.kubi.pl in 91 languages. When the feathers fell off, I took out a metal wrapping made of aluminum foil with the treasures of my childhood in it. I burst into tears discovering all the raisins in turn. All my life and all those days the desires of a child showed up in every item in the box. So came to life, a lead shooter and his mother-in-law, a golden tooth torn out with forceps and cars, a ladder with a loop of a small gallows, and glass balls, colorful murmels, and a sugar box with a glued wing of a tired insect, a motorcyclist in a rush made of painted sheet metal, sports cards who burned their eyes with a match, and an old toothpick by Leonardo da Vinci, and the intimate needs of ants, i.e. miniature toilet seats with a black eye in the middle of a glaring white with contempt for the work of white people. All my childhood. When your son was barefoot, you squeezed him, now you have it. You plucked from the neighborhood. He's so dependent, you added what has a sucks butt. I thought about those days many times and took care of them unnecessarily. Then. Today they would probably say differently and more, with a stone face. He can't even survive on the moon by himself without a self-survival helmet. He went there unnecessarily. The one with the booty would have added philosophically. Today, on Grandma's Day, cut flowers are the most pleasant, not a quick jump. Magic or what? Navigation is not working. Maria said suddenly, knocking me out of my memories. What are these memories for? What matters are they solving? All of them. Or rather, show your feelings. Who were you the day before when the most important problem was the little puppet and the metal rider's momentum? When you did not know the taste of women or the attachment of men? So? Why all this in these memories? The question stops after the question. Before answering. When he lost consciousness, he was walking through dreams. He thought he was dreaming, but the intrusive image was his true memory. He could see his city and its fabrics flowing in the colors of Ishtar, divine, on the walls, in the green. Hands tossing the Euphrates life-giving meal to the glory of life. Song, trumpets, drums and fresh onions in procession around the walls of his city, bare O Ishtar, and to his glory. The heat intensified and the air trembled with fatigue, crushing into the shadows, where the five-winged chimeras, playing trumpets to the glory of Ishtar, drove people into a madness of delight and a malign of desires. Some heard only the buzzing of insects and the hissing of leaves of lentiscas and myrtles. Ineffectually but ceaselessly, the water revived hearts to deprive them of their thirst, which again leads to action. The offspring is weakening forever. The signal is gone. Maria said as if the lights on the Christmas tree had gone out. Her colorful blouse, visible even in the darkness prevailing in the car, seemed to me to be a mobile plant. There will be a crossover in a moment and we need to know. The streets were similar to each other, the more that on the eve of the holiday, they were additionally darkened and dead. Traditions. Yes, it is a human gain more important than the law. Even the balconies, covered with jalousies and shutters, were black and shadowed. And again, a whirlwind of dust blew at me. With Maria again we were high up and we looked down through the magnifying glass at a small, miniature city, and maybe it was far away, and that's why yes. In the square among the sands stood the general of the Philistines. "What's up?" Tarek exclaimed, realizing that he was not alone in this strange square. He did not dare to turn, and out of the corner of his eye he saw Frizz with his hair touching the sand, a beautiful scent that delicately dazed him and was just calming him down. This square was not his and was nothing like the squares of Ashkelon or Ekron. It was different here. The sand here was not like the sand of the forges Tarek grew up in. By learning how to bake iron secretly, he managed to evoke the ancient scent of the mixed water, oil and nitrogen-rich urine with which they toughened iron swords, bucklers and axes. There was no hearth or well here. There was no roofing over the square with arcades, nor the seated figures of the gods Ashdod and Dagon, the demon of the seas. Tarek understood, or rather, did not try to understand. When he first crossed the Shikar River, he became patient with watching his soldiers die. He led them guided by the will of survival and power. He won battles and returned home to Afek before overwhelming enemy forces could defeat his army. They are others, no less insightful, and yet others carried the yoke of defeats and lost battles. He, as a good tactician, managed to take his own and withdraw in glory. But now? To frighten? And Lil's daughter? Where did she? Start at www.kubi.pl in 91 languages.